Have you ever told yourself that you would start tomorrow, only to watch tomorrow slide away? Have you ever looked at a friend who keeps showing up on dull days and wondered why their life moves while yours stays still? We whisper small promises to ourselves. I will do it later. I will do it when I feel ready. I will try once, and if it does not work, I will stop. This is a story about time, discipline, and the small daily choices that decide who we become. It is about a boy who quit too soon, what he lost, and how he found a way back. Everyone wakes up with the same hours. Some people invest them like careful gardeners, planting a little each day and trusting the harvest. Others scatter them chasing quick comfort. The difference is rarely talent. It is the quiet rhythm of consistency. People who keep a promise to themselves win small battles each morning. People who build on moods learn that moods do not build anything at all. Ethan was a bright kid who could charm with a smile and skate by on last-minute effort. He was kind to lonely classmates. He loved to draw cars in the margins of his notebooks and could fix a bike chain with his eyes half closed. His problem was a habit of quitting when work turned slow. He would run for 3 mornings, then sleep in on the 4th. He would learn a few guitar chords, feel the sting in his fingers, and tuck the instrument under his bed. He would lead a project, then hand it off when the deadline crept near. He kept telling himself that the real version of himself would arrive later. High school passed like a train, he heard, but never boarded. He watched friends pick a craft and chip away. Maya ran every morning and made the regional team. Joe wrote 2 pages a day and won a prize. Alina asked for 1 extra problem each week and raised her grade. Ethan was not loudly lazy. He did homework most nights and showed up, then coasted. It was the soft kind of stagnation that feels safe until one day it does not. During exams, he made a schedule and followed it for a day, then drifted. A video took an hour, then another. A practice test scared him, so he closed the book. For the art showcase, he turned in a half-finished sketch and promised to complete it later. Later did not come. His grades told the truth. Potential without practice is a story that never becomes a book. His parents did not yell. They talked about chains that should not break and about talent plus discipline over time. He nodded, but nothing changed. Others passed him not because they were smarter, but because they were steadier. The turn came with the smell of oil and the hum of a small repair shop. Ethan rolled in his bike with a snapped chain. Tools hung on hooks by size. A wall calendar carried neat pencil notes. An old man in a faded blue shirt lifted his glasses and smiled. "You have a stubborn chain," he said. "It happens when you love writing more than cleaning." They spoke while the man worked. He was Mr. Ortiz. He moved with the calm of someone who had repeated small tasks for a long time. "You have good hands," he said. "Gifts grow only when you feed them every day." Ethan felt shame and relief. He admitted that he always started and stopped, that he felt like a watcher of his own life. "Sit," said Mr. Ortiz. "I have a story. Old and simple is the kind that sticks. Once there was a kingdom with a treasury of seeds. The king called them time seeds. Every dawn messengers gave each citizen the same small pouch. Inside were 24 seeds. You could plant them in any soil. Work, learning, rest, play, care, friendship. At sunset, any seeds you had not planted turned to dust. At first, people planted wildly. Gossip fields grew quick and soft, but gave no food. Worry swamps grew thick vines that choked other plants. Skill orchards and health meadows grew for those who tended them. Some forgot to plant and watched gray dust at dusk. The rule never changed. What you tended grew, what you neglected shrank. A boy named Leo loved to start new gardens. He planted a music grove and stopped when laughter drifted from the gossip fields. He planted a running path and quit when his legs burned. He planted a workshop, got a splinter, and sold his tools. He kept saying he would focus after the festival, after the rain, after the new year, after he felt ready. Years moved. The bakery sold golden loaves. Musicians played with steady grace. Runners moved like wind. The craft market shone with careful work. Leo felt left behind. "It is not fair," he told the fountain. "I am as gifted as they are. Why is my life small?" The king heard him and led him to the treasury. "I give away the same seeds to all," the king said. "I cannot make your soil kinder than your neighbor. The law is fair. Plant and tend, and it grows. Neglect, and it shrinks. The cruel thing is that the first days of planting feel like nothing. The kind thing is that the first days of neglect also feel like nothing. Both are seeds in disguise. The harvest belongs to the faithful." Leo asked how to begin. The king handed him a clay cup. "Plant one tree and water it each morning. Not 10 trees, one. Choose a tree you would be proud to shade your children with. Keep the cup where you will trip on it." Leo chose a fruit tree. On day 3, nothing changed, and he felt foolish. On day 10, he wanted to skip, but the clay cup knocked his ankle. On day 20, a sprout appeared. On day 60, the sprout was a sapling. On day 90, he had a habit. Rain or shine, he watered. When gossip fields called, he poured the cup. When worry hissed, he poured the cup. 1 year later, children played under his tree. 2 years later, the fruit fed his street. 3 years later, he taught a neighbor to keep a cup by the door. "The seeds never change," said Mr. Ortiz. "Only our choices do. Missing one day looks like nothing, but nothing adds up." Ethan saw himself in Leo. He felt the cost of his quitting. Not trophies, but self-trust. He knew he could not catch up with a giant sprint. He could only start a line of ordinary days. "What tree should I plant?" he asked. "Pick the thing you would regret losing forever," said Mr. Ortiz. "Not what looks shiny today. What would make you proud in 5 years?" Ethan thought of drawing, design, and bikes. He chose a craft tree, one sketch each day, one small fix each afternoon. He taped an index card to his light switch. He put his sketchbook on his pillow each morning, so he had to touch it before sleep. He set a tiny rule: 10 minutes is enough. Day 1, he drew a gear. Day 2, the curve of a bicycle frame. Day 3, he wanted to skip, but the sketchbook stared like a dog at the door. He drew a cabinet hinge. He fixed a dripping faucet. The urge to quit did not vanish, but the rule was too small to break. By week 3, nothing dramatic had changed outside. Inside, the floor moved. A new sentence formed. "I am someone who shows up." He missed one day with a fever. He did not call it failure. He drew the next day. On Saturdays, he helped at the shop, learning to true a wheel and listen for a misaligned chain. The old man asked one question: "Did you pour the cup today?" Results arrived slow, then faster. A teacher urged him to enter a small design contest. He did not win, but the work was better than anything from 6 months earlier. He kept the piece in a folder, labeled First Fruits. His grades rose because he studied a little each afternoon. "Open the book for 10 minutes, he told himself. 10 became 30, or stayed 10. He did it anyway. Neighbors brought bikes. He built a checklist so he would not miss steps when tired. He saved small paychecks in a jar labeled seed money and laughed at the pun. A father brought an old bike for his daughter. Ethan replaced the tube, polished the frame, and aligned the brakes. The girl rode a circle and shouted with joy. That night, he wrote a line in his notebook. "Time is the only real treasure." The line became an anchor. When a video tried to steal a study block, he whispered the line and returned to the page. When a plan asked for one more day of effort, he repeated the line and showed up. He submitted a portfolio to a city program that paired students with makers and was accepted. A mentor taught him to turn sketches into models and simple products. He ended each day with one small win. By the end of the year, he had a neat wall hook shaped like a bicycle pedal that sold at the craft market. He did not sell out. He sold enough to buy better tools. That harvest was worth more than applause. Other changes followed. He slept better because he respected his plan. He felt less anxious because he had a rule he could keep even on a bad day. He talked with his parents without the fog of guilt. When people asked about his week, he lifted his eyes and gave an honest answer. I drew, I studied, I kept my word. He was not perfect. Now and then he missed a day. But he did not miss 2 days in a row. The chain held. If this feels familiar, it is because it belongs to many of us. We celebrate talent, but life crowns the consistent. The person who writes 2 paragraphs a day becomes an author. The person who saves a little each week builds a cushion. The person who trains 15 minutes each morning becomes fit enough to enjoy their years. Success is wise use of time. The lazy path and the steady path both feel slow at first. After a while, one becomes heavy and the other becomes light. Doers do small things now. Procrastinators plan big things later. The world belongs to the ones who pour the cup when no one is watching. What are you postponing? What small promise could you keep today that would make you proud a month from now? Do not search for a perfect system. Choose a tree. Keep a cup by the door. 10 minutes is enough to begin. Mark a tiny box each day, and let the chain of marks become a picture of who you are. Start today, not tomorrow. Today is the only field you can plant. Time is the only real treasure. Spend a little of it on the person you want to become. Then come back tomorrow and spend a little more. Your harvest grows in the place where you choose to stand and water.